What's up, everybody? Season 3, Episode 4 of SportsCasters starts now. We thank you for listening and hope you enjoy.
We got 3 position coaches right now. That's it.
Oh, did you click record yet?
I did. It's cool. We can keep it flowing. We can keep it flowing. It's cool.
Like, here I go. Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Season 3, Episode 4 of SportsCasters. I'm your co-host, Michaela Evans. This podcast is brought to you by Rells Revenge, official SimDev Music, and SportsHouse. Today, I'm here with our founder, Chris House Jr., our lovely host, Julia Santos, and our Santos.
And toast, though?
Santos. I'm so sorry. My bad. I love Julia Santos and our two sports analysts, Matthew Anderson and Sterling Harris. So, everybody, welcome back. We are in the new year, and I'm ready to dive in. And I feel like it is appropriate to start off with the NFL and Super Wild Card Weekend coming up. So I want to know y'all's predictions on the games. I want to know which team you think might be in sleeper games. Like, who do you think will have a game that may not go the way that we think it should or shouldn't go, and the games that you have on lock?
So to kind of help everybody out, the games that are being played, for those that don't know, are the Colts versus the Bills. You have the Rams versus the Seahawks, and then you have the Bucks versus Washington, and then you have the Ravens versus the Titans, and then the Saints versus the Bears, and then the Browns versus the Steelers.
Whole lot of games.
Exactly. So I'm gonna go through and kind of give like my wins and sleeper games. So Colts versus Bills. I got Bills. Rams versus Seahawks. I got Seahawks. I got Russell taking that one over. Bucks versus Washington. I got Bucks. Ravens versus Titans. I got the Ravens. Saints versus Bears. I got Saints. And then Browns versus Steelers. That game might be the sleeper, or like, in other words, that's a game I can't decide, honestly, because after the Browns beat the Steelers, what was that, last game of the season? I really don't know. I don't know how that game could go. So the Browns versus Steelers is kind of like my sleeper game, as that could go either way. And then in terms of a team that's just going to blow out the other team, honestly, I got the Bucks versus Washington. I know Chase Young said what he said. You talking about the GOAT, though, man. Quote unquote, the GOAT. Okay, all right, let's see how that goes. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say the Bucks versus Washington. I'm pretty sure, although Washington made it out of the NFC East, I think, I don't think that one's gonna be close. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty much locked on the Seahawks beating the Rams too. I just don't see Russell Wilson going out in the first round. Both of those games are going to be really good with the Ravens and the Titans and the Browns and the Steelers. I want to go with Baker Mayfield beating the Steelers. I really do. Where is that game going to be, in Pittsburgh, or is that going to be in Cleveland?
That game is where now?
Is it in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it's in Pittsburgh.
I want to go with that one. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the walk-on one. Hopefully Baker Mayfield gets the win there. And Ravens versus Titans is going to be really good too. I can't see Lamar Jackson going out this early in the playoffs, but if he does, it would be to the Titans with that run game.
Yeah, so I think we all are going to pick the Bills to beat the Colts, but that's not a lock for me. I think my lock is going to be the Saints and the Bears, because the Bears should not even be in the playoffs. The Bears got lucky that Kyler Murray happened to like do whatever to his leg, which would have kept them out of the playoffs, because they need a lot to go their way to make it. And they're just not a complete team. Like Mitch Trubisky's, I don't see the Chicago Bears walking in the Superdome and beating the Saints. Even with Alvin Kamara, those guys out, like the Saints defense is too good. I think because he got the COVID thing. But I think they'll be fine because Michael Thomas will be coming back. Emmanuel Sanders seemed to have found his groove. So Drew Brees will be doing just fine, operating on, Brees time. Rams Seahawks might be, I think, closer than people expect, just because our Rams defense can be very dominant, but still, I was gonna pick them to beat the Seahawks anyway because the Seahawks are my Super Bowl pick. Ravens, Titans, I'm taking the Ravens. The Titans have been they've been winning games, but it's not good, and the Ravens are white hot. Titans kind of been struggling on defense a lot. They won't have Jadeveon Clowney, which is what they brought him there for, which is for the playoffs since he's out for the year, of course. Steelers and Browns. That's a tie with my sleeper game with the Washington and the Buccaneers game. Because right now, I don't understand personally. I don't get why the Steelers sat their starters last week against the Browns. Like, I get it, in terms of you don't want them to get hurt, but at the same time, that offense has no rhythm whatsoever. Like, I'm not looking at Pittsburgh's offense like, oh yeah, they're in rhythm and they can afford to sit for a whole game. Like, I mean, even Buffalo played their starters for the first half and went up by 30 on Miami before taking Allen and Diggs, those guys, out the game. And with Cleveland's defense, like I said, I think they're just a defense built for the playoffs. They're going to have a dude on the outside. They're going to have a dude up on the line of scrimmage that can wreak havoc. And the Washington game, I know y'all are – I mean, what are we basing the Bucks, this steamroll is supposed to happen? What are we basing this off of? Like, they beat the Detroit Lions and the Atlanta Falcons twice in the last 3 weeks. Those are the teams that we're saying, oh, they're rolling.
It's that Washington barely crawled out that division, and with all the injuries they have, most people don't really give them much of a chance against the Bucs. Tom Brady, it's like, okay, this is playoff time. This is where time clicks.
I mean, Tom Brady got a lot of shiny weapons, but it ain't gonna mean nothing if he is on his back the whole game.
That's the thing. It all comes down to that offensive line and what they can do to game plan against that defensive line. I mean, for the most part, they've been keeping up and keeping Tom safe in terms of making sure he doesn't get sacked a whole lot in his time throughout this whole entire season. Now, that's not to say they haven't gone up against Chase Young and all those boys. However, I think it all really boils down to, and Sterling, shout out to you because you actually made a tweet on this. It all boils down to what happens in the trenches. At the end of the day, whoever wins in the trenches, that's who wins that particular game.
And let's remember, Mike Evans just got hurt. Now, yes, AB, you could say, yeah, AB stepped right in, but I'm telling you, if Washington, that D-line, you get to Tom Brady and he's off and he's rattled, and that top 3 secondary in the league, as weird as that sounds, Washington has a top 3 secondary in the NFL right now. They're ranked 3rd in the pass, primarily because of that pass rush up front and how they just can disrupt things. And Brady's not going to give Washington the troubles that Jalen Hurts gave him because Jalen Hurts can use his legs. Brady ain't running nowhere. Deron Payne, Ryan Kerrigan, Jonathan Allen, Chase Young, they're going to pin their ears back and go. They'll go out there and they'll run a 5-2, so they got one-on-ones everywhere and just know they're going to get after Brady the whole game. So, I think that's really going to be underrated. And then going into the playoffs deeper, even if the Bucs do win that game, how beat up is Brady going to be having to now travel to Lambeau, field in below degree weather, going to play at Aaron Rodgers' house? I think that's an underrated game for the playoff picture.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point you bring up. The only thing is how many times has Brady gone up against a defensive line that was as fast and as quick as Washington defensive line is. And I think it all boils down to, and see me, I don't really like taking his side because I don't really like Tom Brady, but I'm gonna take his side just for this time period. I just feel like when you've played out the duration of the time that you played in NFL, you've gone up against every single defense there is. Man's 42. There is no way you haven't seen not one defense in the NFL that you would be surprised by. So I think that just really boils down to, how well can Washington game plan against Tom Brady? And I just don't see that being as easy as folk may see it be. So,
hey, I have to go ahead and mention too. Wait, Sterling, you have something to say about Chris Point?
Oh yeah, I was about to say, but we've seen that Brady's what would be, I guess, a kryptonite is a dominant defensive line. Every Super Bowl he's lost. The Giants both times. When he lost to the Colts in the AFC Championship game, they had Dwight Freeney at the time. When they lost to the Broncos in 2015, Von Miller, that D line, a dominant D-line would do a lot for a secondary. And yes, Brady, has had, seen every coverage in the world. He can see a coverage, but be on his back at the same time. So it's going to be interesting, I think, with how well that D-line can play. And I think Chase Young is just an issue. He's just a problem with no solution to it. So,
hey, and just mentioning to another one of the games, the Colts-Bills games, I wonder how much of an impact it'll be, because I think Beasley and why am I forgetting this? Stephon Diggs have said that they probably will play, but they might be injured, so that might be an impact to that game. But even with them being gone, I just don't see the Colts beating the Bills. Do y'all agree, or do y'all think y'all could see a scenario where the Colts get the win?
I can see the Colts walking in Buffalo and winning that game. I mean,
Not close,
shout out Benny the Butcher.
Now it's gonna be, I don't like talking in ifs, but I mean, if Phillip Rivers just does not turn the football over, we've seen the Colts defense be able to stifle high-powered offenses, throughout this whole year. Now they went to sleep against the Steelers, in the second half, but I don't think they'll make that. I think they'll kind of feel the relief of making it into the playoffs, being that they was out for, last week had to wait for Miami to lose to get in. Darius Leonard would be his first time in the playoffs. I think he'd be excited. They still got that dude up front DeForest Buckner. They got, how they play defense and how they run the football. If Josh Allen is maybe having the Lamar Jackson, I guess, effect in terms of having a great regular season, and we don't know about him in the playoffs, that could happen to him. And they could come out maybe slow. Now, I don't think they will. I think the Bills will ultimately win, but I don't see, if the Colts were to win that game, I wouldn't be surprised at all, just based on how the game, goes. Jonathan Taylor's been rushing his behind off all year. They got another back in the backfield that's pretty good too. I can't remember his name, but he's an issue as well. So, I mean, I could see them winning.
All right.
All right, y'all, we're going to put it over to the NBA. So my favorite category, our segment, too early, too soon. So, the NBA has been open for about 3 weeks now. And, the season started, and we want to know who you guys' predictions are for MVP.
LeBron James. Not kidding. Not really. I think, honestly, we actually made a post about this day before yesterday. And majority of the comments that commented were pretty accurate. It's going to really boil down to between James, Luka, and I ain't gonna say a sleeper, but I feel like James Harden could come back and make some noise again. Given wherever he finds his home, Jesus Christ, I mean, he's still raving on about it. Hopefully, if he stays with the Rockets, cool. If he goes somewhere else, cool. I think my sleeper would be James Harden. I don't see Giannis getting it again. I don't know what he got going on, honestly.
So John Sally made a point, I think it was on Vlad TV, that said that LeBron James could pretty much get it every year, but being the fact that they feel like it kind of gotten the juice out of like LeBron James being the face of the league, the MVP thing. I think another name to sleep on to be KD. I know he's out right now with COVID, but how well I feel like Brooklyn's going to play this year, he'll definitely be in the running for it. And so we'll see if he can claim the award again.
I cannot believe I'm going to be the guy today to say this. I think LeBron James is going to win his 5th MVP this year. I'm the one that says this today. Really? But LeBron, okay, let's be honest. Giannis got an MVP award last year, and nobody believed this. I don't want to say nobody. Of course, the people that voted for him believed he should have deserved the award. But the majority of people that watched basketball did not believe that Giannis deserved that award last year over LeBron James, including me.
Definitely not defensive player of the year.
Or that, that should have been Anthony Davis, but that's neither here nor there. I think LeBron's going to win it this year. I mean, we're looking at how the Lakers been playing as of, out the gate. They're 6-2. They added a lot of new pieces to that team, but they kind of look like they're just in cruise control and still beating people by almost 15 points a game. It's kind of ridiculous. Even the other night, like LeBron had an MVP moment already. He's in cruise control the whole game against the Grizzlies, and then the last minute just takes over and they win the game. So I think this year, I don't think Luka's going to take the necessary step to ascend himself into MVP. Of course, he'll be there because I feel like people are just trying to push Luka to be the MVP and face of the league already. But I don't think he'll have the team. team success to get that award over LeBron, who I think the Lakers will probably be the 1 seed in the Western Conference again. They'll probably, of course, go win around they got 72 games this year. They'll probably win around 50-something games, which would be ridiculous. And he'll have a LeBron James type year, which is always an MVP year. I just think this year voters will feel like he deserves the award, just given they just won a championship. They had the shortest turnaround. He'll have the best record in the league probably again. And he'll have probably 26, 8 and 8, or, whatever LeBron James averages in his sleep. So I think he'll win the award this year. I think he should win it this year, depending on how that plays out. So that's my pick. But don't sleep on Trae Young in Atlanta. Told y'all them boys going to be dangerous.
Right. But I wouldn't necessarily put Trae Young in that category just yet. Their overall team is solid. Don't get me wrong. When you're talking about MVP, you're talking about you are crowned literally the best player in the league. I don't think that's him just yet. I feel like Luka has a pretty decent shot because, well, for a couple of reasons. One, if people were able to vote Giannis after the year that LeBron had, I don't put nothing past anybody. None of these experts. So saying that and to say at the end of the day, if people can vote Giannis and given what LeBron did, I see Luka somehow getting that award. Just because, to your point, Sterling, of him being pushed to be MVP and like, oh, he won, whatever. But not taking away from what he can do on the court. Nonetheless, I do feel like he can put up those same numbers and be that dude. But only thing is that going to your point about team success, I think that's true. But then again, that's also to an extent, it's like, okay, you look at a guy like Russ when he was at OKC, first round bounced out. So it's like team success. People really gave him that award because he averaged a triple-double the entire season or majority of the season, whatever the crazy.
He averaged the whole year. He averaged the whole season.
So my thing is, can Luka do that? I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't put nothing past him. I feel like he can. But is that his goal? I feel like Russ went out to get a triple-double every night. I don't think that's Luka's mindset. I think Luka just going out there just to win games, honestly. But nah, I really do. And then hold on, let's back up a little bit. To your point, man, when you were talking about KD, okay. Let me say it like this. KD, in order for him to win that award this year, he has to have a better season than LeBron. Has to. And I mean like in every single category. I'm not talking about, he averaged more points. No. He has to literally blow LeBron out of the water in order for him to win that award. And I say that because everybody is slowly taking their eyes off of LeBron because they're like, LeBron gonna do what he gonna do. Everybody is staring at KD because they feel like, all right, dude, you just came off of this Achilles. Your boy Kyrie hyping you up, saying you could take the last shot, whatever, after we just saw what that looked like versus Washington Wizards. What you gonna do? So I think it really boils down to, can KD be better than LeBron? That's actually has to be in the back of his head whenever he touches the court. And I know that's not something that people want to say because, anybody thinking about LeBron. When someone is better than you, at the end of the day, want to be better than that person. I don't care whatever athlete you are. If somebody is saying, this person is better than you definitely gonna want to do everything in your power to beat that person. So
you beat him twice.
You think he got the potential to beat?
Man.
Do one of y'all think he has the potential to beat LeBron in every category? I don't really see it happening, but do one of y'all think so?
Not every category.
Not every category.
I don't think I don't think it'll be like required of him to. I mean, KD's just kind of there to put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah.
And then, help him close in situations. But I think he'll obviously get comeback player of the year if they have that award, right? He'll easily get that because he's going to average like 20s, whatever. He's already averaging like 27 right now. So he'll get that.
We'll see what happens.
I think the story, but I mean, even Chris, like you was talking about Luka and they could do that. I think the storyline, like if we're going to go by story, like LeBron still would have the best story is in year 17 off the shortest turnaround in NBA and I think major sports history, winning a title in a bubble, and he's going to have the best record in the league. and averaged 27, 8, and 8. Like, like if you don't give it to him this year, if that's what happens, and he doesn't take off too many games, then like just throw the award away.
I mean, honestly, like that goes on to the point where I brought up when people vote Giannis for both awards, and neither people or neither guys that the general public really saw should have gotten those awards. He got both of them. So I'm like, about getting that time to throw the award away. Both of them, honestly.
Chris, I wanted to speak on what you said, because you said something about like, how people are kind of stepping away from LeBron and stuff like that. It's like, oh, we expect him to do this and that. I feel like that's also another reason why he may not get picked, because people expect him to like get these amount of points. I feel like if he's not like doing a lot better than the next candidate, he's not going to get it. Like, I feel like if him and someone else is neck and neck for it, then they're going to give it to that person. I feel like, because they expect LeBron to be at that level where that person may be excelling better than they ever did before.
That is very true. And I think the only thing to that is this is where your resume come into effect. At the end of the day, if you look at just off of what LeBron has done from a little bit into the postseason all the way up until when they actually hand that person the award, hands down, he's going to get it. Hands down, he should get it. Let me say it like that. I'm not saying he's going to, because we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
But nonetheless, if it comes down between LeBron and if it comes down between LeBron and Luka, LeBron should get that award. LeBron should get that award. Luka will be a second place, in my opinion, most definitely. But if all the cards on the table are right, then it should be LeBron.
Oh, just quick thing. We forgot somebody that has the number one record in the Eastern Conference, which is Joel Embiid, who's been monstrous. Joel Embiid.
Go ahead.
Joel Embiid has been monstrous over the first 7 games. Just flat out dominating. So I think we need to put his name in there, because people kind of waiting for Joel Embiid to kind of come into his own, because they always seen he had the talent, but it's like, did he have the motivation or whatever? And right now with Doc Rivers as a new head coach, he's been balling.
Only reason why I don't put him in that conversation, I need him to play more than half of the season in order for him to be considered for that award. Like when it comes around game 50, halfway, a little bit after the halfway mark, then I could probably consider him for that award. Hence, he's also performing the same way as well. I really feel like the reason why Joel Embiid does not get the credit, other than being the best big man in the league, is because of his injuries. That plays a lot into it. I mean, if you hurt and you ain't playing games, how can people give you the award? That's just kind of going, because I heard about this earlier today. That's kind of going back to the whole Justin Fields thing in college football. If Justin Fields had played an entire season, he more than likely would have probably won the Heisman, honestly. But just because of when you have those parameters that don't allow you to play, people can't consider you for that award. So that's the only reason why I can't put him in that category.
Y'all want to just hear something crazy? So Kevin Durant is averaging 28.2 points per game and shooting 51% from the field. Good Lord. And Joel Embiid is averaging 25.3 and shooting 52.8% from. Like, that is ridiculous to me. Like, KD is almost averaging. Matt, you might be right. KD is almost averaging 30 points and is making over half of his shots at a comfortable rate, because you have 51.2. That's efficiency at like the pinnacle of it. Like, that's ridiculous.
He's a certified bucket. Brooklyn, he's a certified bucket.
Achilles. Yeah. That's for the Achilles.
We're gonna see what happens if that happens in Brooklyn. Hopefully he can come on with the award. I really don't think it's gonna happen this year, but I definitely look forward to going to a playoff game at Barclays, because Barclays is really dope. Like the setup of it in years to come, because they're gonna be in the conversation.
Auto shop in there and everything.
Hey, as a matter of fact, since we talking, y'all talking about Trae Young in Atlanta's what is it? In Atlanta's gym, I can't think of the name right now. What is it called?
I have no clue.
Whatever Atlanta's arena is, they got the swag shop. Shout out Killer Mike. So this is my shop for there. So we throwing out all the shout outs. Maybe get an endorsement one day. You never know.
For real.
I'm gonna go back to Chris brought up Justin Fields, so we're gonna talk about the NCAA national championship coming up. I'm really excited. I'm excited about this one. I very biasedly I picked Bama, but I'm a little bit nervous after seeing Justin Fields' performance because I was thoroughly impressed after pretty much getting his ribs broken. He came back like a champ and totally blew out Clemson. But I don't know. We got the Heisman winner on Bama, Devontae Smith. That one's one. And then maybe Jalen Waddle might be coming back. And I think that will also be a nice tipping point for Bama. So I'm Team Bama. Like to know what y'all think.
I'm gonna let y'all know right now. Go ahead, Mr. Ohio State.
I was like,
before the season started, I told y'all, I said Ohio State, watch out for them. For good reason. Even when they canceled the season, I said everybody remain calm. Remain calm and coming back to Columbus. In this Ohio State Clemson game, where Ohio State won 49-28 in Louisiana, Justin Fields 22 for 28, 385 yards, 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. Probably a broken rib, folks. He said when he went to the side, they didn't even tell him what the injury was. They shot him up. He kept playing. Trey Sermon. They started questioning my man Trey Sermon. Why did he transfer from Oklahoma? 31 for 193 yards, hopping over people, even though that was not necessary, and he did not successfully do it. It looked good in the highlight video, but it was necessary. And 1 touchdown, my boy Chris Olave catching the dimes out of the air, 6 receptions, 132 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I hope y'all listen to me moving forward. Now, here's one thing. Patrick Surtain, that's the best corner. Alabama has. I'm very much concerned about him. I'm very much concerned about our guy Wade, Sean Wade, because I'm pretty sure he's going to be lined up against Devontae Smith unless we do some type of zone. So I'm a little bit concerned, but I've been riding with the Buckeyes this far. OJ Field's going to make it happen, and we're going to go get us the national championship. And I would say we're going to Columbus for the parade, but there should be a parade. As a matter of fact, we already got COVID problems as is. I don't know who's going to be out for this game, so. But, hey, I've been rocking with the Buckeyes, the boys in scarlet and gray all year, so why would I switch up now?
Sir, do you have on a pullover?
He sure do. He knew it was covered. He knew it was covered.
And the thing is, I didn't order this like last week. These people. I had this earlier. I was walking in Target. As a matter of fact, I was door dashing one day over at OC.
You got pics? You got pics? I need proof.
Huh?
I need proof that you've been had that.
I get you the receipt. It's not even a problem. I've been had this.
Why you still got the receipt?
No, I obviously had to look it up with my email address. Come on now, quit playing with me. But
out of Target.
Yeah, I was in Target. Anyway, I was in Target over here, and people were like, "Oh, University of South Carolina." I'm like, "Are y'all serious? Are we serious right now? Are we having this conversation?" Man, shout out to Buckeyes, scarlet and gray. I tried to tell you, you wouldn't believe me.
You want this, or you want me? What you want to do, man?
Man, Matt went on a little rant there. I recall being the guy, I think on his show, saying that I thought the only team that could probably beat Clemson was Ohio State. So I'll give my flowers to myself for that one. Also, I think we all should see that Ohio State was going to quick hike the living crap out of Clemson, for reasons. And it worked out pretty fine. But this Ohio State defense, do you trust it, Matt? Do you trust this Ohio State defense?
Not at all against this. Let me tell you something. I was worried against Clemson, but then we were able to get pressure. So that I was like, okay, we can make this happen. We got a pretty good defense on linebacker core. But my goodness, if you don't trust a team's defense and secondary, to be specific, this is not the team not to trust it against.
I mean, because you said you was able to get pressure. Also, the best play caller in the nation did not call plays that game outside of the first 16 and Tony Elliott for Clemson. So we're going to give you that one.
I'm good.
Y'all are currently rocking with Ezekiel Elliott 2.0 from 2014. And Trey Sermon with having a huge Big Ten title game and then keeping it going in the national semis.
Back to back. Shut up.
But the difference here is that y'all don't have a single person that can guard Devontae Smith.
Yes, it's
Hey,
true.
y'all don't have a single person to guard that man. Y'all also, as great as Trey Sermon has played the last 2 games, Najee Harris has still been a level above of him for the whole season, which is Alabama's running back. And then, last but not least, if they let Jalen Waddle suit up for that game on Monday, y'all might as well send a trophy to where's Alabama? Tuscaloosa. Just go ahead and send the trophy there, because good Lord. Mechie's playing great. Bama gonna probably put up whatever points that it deems necessary to put up. I think they just honestly Notre Dame was ready to get up out of there. They got up by like 3 scores and was trying to get up out of there. I don't know how Fields is gonna be with his ribs. You know, the adrenaline was pumping through him that day, but now he got time to sit down and for it to stiffen up. We'll see how he moves and feels, but man, I mean, I don't think y'all gonna win, obviously.
They never do.
I'm just saying, Bama just has too many weapons. And on defense, they play way better defense than Clemson. You taking who you rather have, Darian Kendrick or Patrick Surtain?
Look,
What's the boy name from Clemson? Nolan Turner or Jordan Battle? Like we could do the seesaw all day long in terms of what I'm about to go up against. So
here's what we did. Here's be the key to success. Our defense line would have to dominate the Alabama offensive line. Alabama has tight ends and they put against defense ends, and those guys usually go win battles. So our defense line would have to get after it. We would have to score a lot of points, and we would kind of need to keep Alabama's offense off the field, which would be kind of interesting because at Clemson, we were huddling, and so we would kind of have to – I'm not going to say we would huddle for the same purpose, but we'd probably just slow the game down, try to keep our guys on the field and give ourselves a chance. But, hey, look, and dominate the trenches like we did against Clemson. Urban Meyer said he watched 5 snaps of this game and he knew it was over because we were just putting Clemson at a whole nother level. Our offensive line was just moving their defense line off the field. Look, they called it upset for a reason. I don't think many people thought that, what was it, that Boise State when they beat, was that Oklahoma that year?
Oh, man.
Nobody thought that was going to happen.
Man.
Yeah.
Boise State, Oklahoma. This is going to be Boise State, Oklahoma level. Like
no. But I'm just saying, go the principle. Nobody thought it was going to happen. That's why they called it upset. I've been rocking with these Buckeyes all year. Why would I turn over now?
My only 2 cents is, at the end of the day, Justin Fields can go out there and ball. I saw a level of toughness that I haven't seen in the little past 6 games they played. No disrespect. It is what it is. I'm going to say that. Justin Fields can go out, he's going to ball, regardless of his injury. Man, y'all ain't beating Bama. I'm going to say that right here on SportsCasters. Y'all not beating Bama. And I say that going to the points that Sterling made, but Bama is just a team that – I don't really like Bama. Sorry, Caleb, but I don't really like Bama like that. I just feel like that's just – I don't think it's kind of like the Cowboys. I think it's the fans. Y'all harp too much on Alabama. It's like, ugh, y'all aggravating. But nonetheless, as far as team status and team caliber, yes, Bama is going to win the national championship just because of who they are, what they can do on the field, and just the amount of weapons that they have. Like, not only do you have, one of the best QBs in college football, you have one of the best running backs. You have one of the best receivers who just won the Heisman. Oh,
the best receiver.
Thank you. And then you also have another receiver who's also a potential top 10 draft pick in NFL. Like, dog, I don't know what y'all want to do to stop Bama. I mean, going to your point, keeping the offense off the field, but when there's weapons like that, that's just tough to beat. So
I'm gonna end this off with a quote from Hugh Freeze.
No, not a quote.
End this off with a quote. So Hugh Freeze. So whenever he was at Ole Miss, they played Texas A&M. They were in the locker room pregame, just kind of getting juices running.
He texted this code from his burner account, from his burner phone.
Hey, calm all that down. And then so he says, he looks around the locker room. He says, y'all, is 85 of us, and there's 100,000 of them at the 12th man in Texas A&M. He said, I like our chances. And, I'm kind of feeling that too. So guess what? Whenever we come back on here next Thursday, unless they postpone the game again, which I don't think they're going to do because they got to get those guys ready for the combine and stuff like that. We come back here. Ohio State's got the win. I'm going to need something from you guys. Go Buckeyes, man. Scarlet and gray. The brother.
Are you threatening us to give you something if they win?
No,
what?
You would just hear me. That's all.
King, so tell them to run a couple hundred to me and I'll be straight.
Oh, man. Yeah.
$200. I'm on Matt's side because I ain't doing that.
Devontae Smith gonna have a couple hundred on y'all head on Monday night. That's
Period.
Because Sean Wade, I'm sorry, Sean Wade lost so much money the other day. It was so bad. But I mean, here's the thing with Ohio State with me and how they play defense is, so they're going to be a 3-deep team.
Yeah.
But the problem is the best defensive player, Sean Wade, is a man guy. And if I'm going to take a man on a man, it's going to be Devontae Smith, who I think is going to win that matchup probably, 90 to 95% of the time. Along with that, I think I haven't seen a scenario where I can consistently look at Ohio State on offense and say, y'all have multiple ways of winning a football game. Yes, it happened, the Clemson game, because y'all aired the ball all the way out and Trey Sermon played great. But we've seen that for literally 2 weeks where we've seen Ohio State either versus Northwestern say, okay, we have to run the football, and then versus Clemson, just air it out. I've seen Alabama all year long just win games however way they want to. Like literally, like consistently. Like the thing with me is the consistency of y'all play. Now, will y'all be fresher than Alabama because of the shortened season? I don't know. But I do know that Bama will be fine-tuned. It'll be Sark's last game.
Yeah, that's big. He's going to Texas.
It'll be Sark's last game as an OC. He's going to want to have a big – I think he's going to go out on top before he goes to Texas and gets cursed by Texas, because everybody goes to Texas gets cursed, apparently. And then – and then on top of that, we got to remember these guys in this game, like Najee Harris, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, all those guys was on the first national championship game, on the first national championship team with Tua. So I'm sure they want to go out, with a ring themselves as seniors and leading the class and everything. So I don't know. Like, I don't see how y'all win this game. Like, I believe Bama's going to win in the trenches because 95% of the time they do. They're gonna win. They're gonna win up front. So now we look on outside. Do you have any advantage on outside? Big no. Big no.
Oh, I'm not sleeping on Chris Olave out there. Chris Olave is nice.
Chris Olave is nice. Devontae Smith is a top 5 draft pick.
Garrett Wilson is nice. Don't be disrespecting our receiving core.
I'm not disrespecting them, but Devontae Smith, and if Jalen Waddle lines up, that's the level they're on in terms of receivers. So they ain't got it out there. So let's go to the backfield. Do y'all have a linebacker that I'm sleeping on that maybe could command y'all front? Do y'all have
our linebacker core is solid. Our linebacker core is probably one of the top.
Yeah, and Najee Harris is a first-round draft pick.
Look, I think we could do this all day long. I really do. I don't think that this is going to stop because I'm not giving no kind of ground. I'm going to see y'all on Monday. If we lose, don't call me. Don't call me. I'll see y'all on Thursday.
You are the first person I'm calling. You know that,
don't
right?
Call me.
Numbers, you ain't know.
All y'all messy going to come back green. It's going to be what happened to Matt. Look, I think we got it, man. I think our receivers core.
We need to go 500. We need to go 500. I go Carl Hunter.
You want Clemson? Ah, man, we got to bring it back.
Hunter, if you're watching this, we coming for you, big fella. Yes, we are.
All right, y'all. We're going to wrap this up. It was good talking to y'all. It's been like 2 weeks without having an episode, so I'm happy we did that. SportsCasters is brought to y'all by Rells Revenge, Slim Dev Music, and Matt's SportsHouse. We will be back next week to discuss this game, and hopefully, Matt, I'm on your side with this one. So hopefully, just for your sake, they don't come.
Just don't want to give up $100. That's all that is.
Okay, I'm broke. Now what? But we will see you guys next week. Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by Rells Revenge, official Slim Dev Music, and Matt's SportsHouse. Stay tuned next week for Season 3, Episode 5 of SportsCasters. See you then.